So F1 1997, one of the best PlayStation games if you are a Formula 1 fan. I'll still argue the best PlayStation 1 game. The tones of Mike Walker, Martin Bundle, polygon graphics, this is Brazil. But what do we do for the modern age? Well, here we go, from this to this. Yes, F1 1997, believe it or not, on Gran Turismo 7. Yes, that is us in a Williams, that is Eddie Irvine in front, and that is a triple overtake, sort of. And yes, that is John Lacey passing us, and Eddie Irvine passing us, and Mick Hakkinen passing us. So, how do you get F1 1997 on Gran Turismo 7? Well, luckily, we have the new Gran Turismo update that came in December 2025, if you're listening to this a couple of years later, and it gave us a very significant model, which gives us 1997-esque vibes. And we're going to show you how to get a grid of 1997 cars and race 1997 style. So, to start off with, we need to go to Brand Central. We have to buy an F1-esque car. So, Brand Central, and what do you know? Asia Pacific. It is a Gran Turismo special. Pop to that Gran Turismo shop, and voila, we have an eclectic number of cars. Now, the one we need is the one from the December update. It's going to be the F3500B, simply because you can't really see it here, but it does come in slightly different shapes. And we're going to pick an F197 shape, but here it is in all its beauty. So, the easy bit's done. Now for the rest of the bit, which is equally as easy. So now we've purchased the car, we need to get a paint job. And let's go to a showcase, where we are going to obviously select the car we currently have because we've sat in it, or you can select it from your garage. There you go. And just put in 97, because helpfully people have made some stunning F1 97 liveries. Hello, the 1997 snaky, yellowy Jordan in all its glory. Doesn't it look stunning? With Benson and Hedger sponsorship, yep, we don't see that anymore. A Peugeot engine. And obviously, who can forget that snake at the front? Absolutely magnificent. But, as you know, there are others full of 97. Yes, there is the whole grid there. This is the Williams paint job. The same Williams that Jacques Villeneuve won the 1997 World Championship, the Rothmans Williams Renault, with a hype on the side pods, sort of, and a full sponsorship. But as you know, there's more. We've got the Jordan, we've got the Ferrari. Yes, the 1997 Ferrari, driven by Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine. One that so nearly won the 1997 World Championship, except Michael Schumacher ended up being disqualified. Naughty boy. Next up, we have the Stewart. Yes, Jackie Stewart and Paul Stewart heading Rubens Barrichello and Jan Magnussen in that very team. And then we also have the Benetton, driven by John Lacey and Gerhard Berger. Gerhard Berger's last ever season in Formula 1. The Prost, yes, Alain Prost was a team boss in 1997, formerly the Ligier team with Olivier Panis, Shinji Nakano, and funnily enough, Jarno Trulli. And here is the magnificent Minardi, again driven by Jarno Trulli, Yanni Morbidelli, and Ukyo Katayama. And here's that stunning McLaren DC and Mika Hakkinen. But we're not done yet, because this is Damon Hill's 1997 Arrows that, yeah, nearly won the Hungarian Grand Prix. Absolutely magnificent. We've downloaded our liveries, now onto putting that paint on the car, into GT Auto, into car customization, and I'm sure many of you have done this before, all the way over to loading our liveries, and here they are, our saved liveries. Which one are we going to choose? We forgot the Tyrrell, didn't we? I knew there was one missing. There we go. It's tempting, isn't it? Let's click on that McLaren, shall we? And watch the magic happen as it's downloading the livery. Here we go. On to the McLaren, and doesn't it look very, very nice? The 1997 McLaren that won the Australian Grand Prix, Italian Grand Prix, and the European Grand Prix. Brilliant. Now, depending how hard you want to go in the 97 tunnel, let's say, you can even download, we're talking about suits, as in race suits, helmets, and we are looking, bearing in mind we're now selected our McLaren. We're looking for a certain helmet of a certain Scottish driver, David Coulthard. They're pretty much all there, and there you are. You can even select the year. Sometimes you might not get the exact year, but there we go. I mean, look at them. The Scottish soul tie from the man that won 13 Grand Prix, 12 in a McLaren, 1 in a Williams. Portugal was his first ever F1 win, then his second, and his first for McLaren was the 1997 Australian Grand Prix. The first Grand Prix I stayed up to watch, and well, yeah, I'll probably end up doing another video about it, but there we go. DC's helmet, or even lid, if you prefer. So it's time for the race suit. Let's look for a McLaren race suit. Once again, put in Coulthard or McLaren 97, etc. And there we go. We have quite the selection of Red Bull, the old McLaren, the, when I say old McLaren, I mean Marlboro McLaren. Then we have West McLaren. I know, they're all old, but they're all equally magnificent. There it is. I think this is a 98 one, though, if I'm honest, because they have the Warsteiner, the beer logo. But nevertheless, let's hope people don't tell. Into GT also, where we are going to select our helmet and suit, essentially liveries. Yeah, there we go. Let's go for the helmet. Let's look for the ones we've downloaded. There we go. Hello, David Coulthard, and hello, McLaren livery, albeit, as I said, 1998. But hey, when you're in the cockpit, I don't think too many people are going to notice, if I'm honest. So let's now continue to make a race, and obviously if you want all the F1 cars, yes, you have to buy 10 cars and 10 liveries. They're 20 slots, essentially. You can have 20 cars, so you're going to have to choose which team to miss out the 11 teams in F1 97, and it's going to cost you, each car's $1 million, so it's going to cost you a cool 10 million if you want a pretty much full grid, which we're going to have here. So let's choose. We are in our McLaren, and let's choose Brazil, because let's be fair, this course hasn't changed much since the 1997 version, where funny enough Jacques Villeneuve won. The race though did have to be restarted, but more on that maybe in another one, another video even. So number of laps you can choose, that is all by the by. What's going to get interesting though, as we get further down, sadly, and also GT7, come on Polyphony, put rain in there. We know it rains in Brazil. We want a wet race. I mean, 2024, 2025, 2008, 2012, all absolutely classic races. You can obviously put the fuel, because as we know in 1997, they did use fuel, did our Formula 1 cars, along with basically 2 types of tyre. But now this is the important bit. We go all the way down to select from garage in terms of rival car / opponents, and as you can see here, they're all McLarens at the moment, but we're going to change that nice and easy. For example, we pick the first one, we're going to click adjust grid or change car, whatever one you want, but in particular for this one, we want change car and change the driver's name. We are going to turn the pole position man into a certain Canadian driver by the name of Jacques Villeneuve, and yes, they are going to have nearly all the countries on there. Now the important bit as well, he's not driving a McLaren, he's driving a Williams. So what we're going to have to do is find the Williams car, which is here, and there we go. And let's continue. And long may you continue till you get a rival like this, a list like this, if you will, full of 1997 drivers and liveries. And there we are in 11th in our beautiful McLaren Mercedes. Let's go. So here we are, all of our hard work about to begin at Interlagos, the home of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And there's DC in his McLaren in all his glory. 3, 2, 1, and it is go! As we now head towards that first corner in F1 1997 style. It's Olivier Panis. We go past Olivier, past Johnny, and it looks like we're going to be having a fight with Eddie Irvine and possibly Rubens Barrichello. No, we're not. Yes, we are. They've been holed up. As you can see, bring back a few memories. As there, Ralf Schumacher now is in front of us, and Giancarlo Fisichella in the wonderful snaky Jordan as we pass on. Well, 3-4 in one corner, and then Eddie Irvine squeezes past us. Peak 1997 Formula 1. Now, if you want to make it even more accurate, what we're going to do is edit the car's speed. All the cars, as we know, Formula 1 at different speeds. But we need a couple of things. We need the ballast, first of all, which you can purchase from the tuning shop. And we also need the power restrictor, which again you can purchase from the tuning shop. Now what you do then, once you've bought both of them, you will go then into your garage, select the car you want to edit. In this case it's going to be the McLaren, which was arguably the second or third fastest car at times. More realistically the third fastest car, but it had a very powerful Mercedes engine. So what do? Well, we go down there and we leave everything there. Don't mess with everything except for the ballast, because aerodynamics wasn't particularly great on the McLaren, so we've given it a 20 on the ballast. And you can do this for each of the cars. Obviously Williams being the fastest, probably Ferrari the second fastest, McLaren third, very close with Benetton and Jordan. Remember, Jordan had a powerful engine in that Peugeot. All this and more. World circuits. If you want your full 97 experience, there are many circuits. We have Brazil from the 1997 Formula 1 season. When we head to Europe, this is where we'll get most of our tracks. For example, we have the Circuit de Spa in Belgium. We have the Nürburgring in Germany. Some of these are relatively changed. What isn't changed is the Österreich Red Bull Ring or A1 Ring in 1997, along with Monza. Yeah, a couple of chicanes have changed a tiny bit. And then we have Spain. One thing we did forget though is back to the Americas. Of course, the new update has given us the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, as in the Canadian Grand Prix. And last but no means least, we go all the way to Asia and go to Suzuka, Japan. Fantastic. And there we have it, your full Formula 1 1997 experience. As close as you can get. Okay, the sound of the screaming V10s isn't quite there, but you got the look, you've certainly had the feel, you got the customization, and yet you got 20 cars, so you're going to have to choose which team you want to leave out, sadly. In this respect, we left the Tyrrells out. Sorry, Ken. Sorry, Mick Asalo. I'm sorry, Jos Verstappen. But as you can see here, peak Formula 1. I mean, even though on the replays it looks absolutely amazing. It's a bit of the onboard. Yeah. Anyway, this has been Full Throttle. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button if you want, and enjoy.